Well, hello and welcome to Let's Talk Strategies with Danette Moss. Of course, I'm your host, Danette, and I am so excited for today's segment of our show. Joining me is the awesome Tyshon Phillips. She is a systems empowerment coach and owner of Golden Admin. She specializes in helping mompreneurs and small business owners regain control of their life by creating systems in their businesses that are aligned with their goals. And I love that. Not just business goals, but life goals. With over 10 years of experience in business administration and operations, Tyshawn is passionate about helping her clients streamline, y'all know I'm all about that, their processes, increasing their productivity, and of course, achieving their goals. Today, Tyshawn will be discussing, well, she and I both will be discussing the importance of creating systems that work, right? We need systems, but we need those systems that work, the right systems. We're going to be working with you through identifying those right systems for your business, how to implement them effectively, and so much more. Enough about me giving her bio. Let's go ahead and bring the woman with the plan in with me because listen, y'all, we getting ready to really truly start geeking out today. We're going to get our sass on, and you got two system specialists, consultants, strategists, coaches, whatever y'all want to put the name to it, as long as it's positive. That's what we're here for. What's going on, lady?
Thank you so much. Like, not you having me blushing before I even get on camera. Like, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be talking to another expert in this industry. Like, I'm just ready to get this conversation started.
Listen, it's going to be a good conversation. And I'm excited to have those of you all joining us here in so many different platforms. I'm just extremely blessed to be able to be in our E360 TV platform, YouTube, etc. So if you don't have a sheet of paper and a pencil, I can tell you, no worries. It will be on recording, but I want you to go ahead and get this skinny right now. We do have our comments area open. If we don't get a chance to respond to you there, we promise to go back down in there later on and respond and answer any questions that you have there. But we want to go ahead and get started. Before I actually swing all the way in though, Tashawn, I want you to talk and tell me a bit about why is systems, processes, and strategies what I could consider? Why is it your love language, lady?
It's not just business with me. It's something that I do for my life. Like, I enjoy working smarter and not harder, and that systems was always the answer for me. So it's not like I grew up saying I want to be this person who specializes in systems because I didn't even know that it was a thing. It's just that I was always the one to find a solution, and the solution would be to analyze the problem, figure out what needs to be done, and create a system to automate it. And eventually I learned that, hey, that's a whole job out here. So it's just something that I always do.
Listen, that was the same with me. I thoroughly enjoyed it, was excited about it, and it was like,
Mhm.
when God gave me the acronym SAS, at first it was being strategic, taking action, creating my own signature systems. But you know what
Mhm.
I found out? I found that even I still struggled with that. And why was I struggling with it? It's because I was overcomplicating it.
Yes.
All day long, okay, yeah, you got to be strategic. You got to take action, create a signature system. And then he gave me another one. He rebirthed that thing and turned it into, first and foremost, simplifying, automating,
Hmm.
systematizing, and then streamlining. If I couldn't do those, there was no way that I can even be strategic, let alone set up any type of signature system. Why? Because I was all over the place. It was
That is
all.
that is just so true. And it sounds like anytime I talk to another specialist, it's like we always learn it the hard way first. And I still do it. Like, I still do it, and I'm like unlearning those habits as I go, but as I grow. But it's like we always learn the hard way, and like once we figure it out for ourselves, it becomes easier for us to figure it out for other people. So I want to say that it's definitely a blessing in those lessons, because we will overcomplicate something because we want it to be perfect. Right?
Exactly.
It happens.
That is so it. So, you said something a moment ago. You mentioned it's not just for your business. And I'm so glad to hear you say that. Because for me, as a mompreneur, mother of
Mhm.
five, grandmother of five, and two grand dogs, I know a lot of people don't believe that.
Okay.
I'll be 55 this coming Sunday on Father's Day. And
Yes.
having all those different things in my life, having, those children that are now grown and still having two here at home, one going to orientation on Wednesday to FAMU. I'm busy. A mom, busy. I have two grand dogs. I don't get too busy with them. My son has them at their house. Nonetheless, even as a business owner, I found first and foremost, Tyshon, is that I had to have systems in my life. This is a life and business situation,
Yes.
especially as a business owner. You need to know no matter what, it is going to bleed into both. You cannot separate it. And that was the worst thing that I could have ever done on my journey. And I don't talk down against my gurus that I learned from and the coaches that I spent $10,000 on, not knowing any better. Not to say that you can't spend money like that on people, but I learned that the way that they taught me was that it needed to be separated. I quickly learned the hard way. No,
Mhm.
it's a blend. That's why in most cases you'll hear me speak from a space of blend instead of balance, life and
Yes.
business blend. So I appreciate you for mentioning that earlier. To be honest, it's part of your life, right?
Yes, amen. That's definitely me. Like I'm the same way. I use the word alignment because I don't think work life balance is a thing. Like why would you try to balance your work with your life? Like life is going to always be first for me. That's life. Everything else just fit in, get in where you fit in, and that's including work. Like
Yes. Yes, 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 and it's so true. So let's get down to it. I got some questions that I'm gonna ask, and I'm all about being a conversationalist, so we just gonna flow with it. When we think about our topic here today, and we blend that thing in, with the systems perspective, I literally think a whole lot about how systems contribute to our business growth and the
Mhm.
success of it. What share what you think? How do you really truly think that it literally contributes to our business growth? Because a lot of people don't think they have to have systems, especially the people that have made tons of money, right? They're making money. You can't tell them anything until that money dries up.
Yes, and that's what I was just about to say when it comes down to answer the part to speak to the people who don't think that they don't need it like because they're making money. If you didn't need it, you wouldn't still be busy making money. Right. Like if that's you're caught up in a hustle culture and it happens to all of us, so I'm not knocking you. You are a victim of your environment and that's just what you got caught up in, and you just going to be busy forever making money, and that's going to be your story unless you start implementing systems. The only way your business can grow without sacrificing your sanity is if you find a way for it to flow without you, right? If you're going to always reach a cap because you're one person and we all have 24 hours in a day, you have to find a way to multiply that without multiplying yourself. I mean, it's 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if you can clone yourself at this moment and be another, create another business owner. However, you have to find a way to make the most of what you have, and a system is the only way that that can happen. And that's why technology is constantly advancing because people want to multiply their skills. You can't multiply yourself, but you can find a way to multiply your skills, whether that is utilizing technology or delegating a task, but that's still part of a system. You have to create the system and hire someone to manage that for you, create the training material, all of that goes together. So that's the only way you're going to grow if your business is flowing.
Well, I love that you said that because for me, as I think through it, and you touched on it in so many different ways, systems provides structure, which is so key, and
Mhm.
consistency. If you don't have
Yeah.
systems, there's no way you can be, or let's say, stay consistent. Because some of us, most of us, I mean, I can get down and hop in there and do some stuff real fast, right?
Mhm.
But my truth and reality is if I don't take a systematic approach, I don't have structure, I'm jumping over here, then I'm backing up over there, and I can't stay consistent. For
Yes.
me, having how systems contribute for me and my business is that in itself, the consistency, the structure that Danette definitely needs, streamlining stuff, girl. I gotta have it. And the other thing that it has helped me well with is I found that I'm a lot more productive. So it helps me maximize my productivity, for lack of better words. And it just keeps me flowing. And guess what else? It helps me see where I'm dropping the ball.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That was the main thing for me because I always was brought into a problem. Like
Mm,
I was always the problem solver. And then it took me a few years because no lie, I honestly used to appreciate it and like I really enjoyed being a person to be called to every problem until it started getting overwhelming. Like until I started crashing, I was like, okay, listen, I didn't sign up to be a firefighter, so let me start helping y'all prevent the fires from getting started. Like that. And that's when I started looking at things from a different perspective because I got tired of being the person that you call to just to fix all of your problems. Let me help you not create them in the first place.
that part right there. That part right there. Especially the ones that thought, not only, I got to come and put the fire out, but they don't want to own anything. Nobody wants to own the fact that the problem they are having is a problem that they created, right?
Mm-hmm.
You created this problem. You don't have any systems. You don't have any processes. Somebody just told you to start from where you are. Yeah, you can start some of that stuff, right? But trust and believe you are going to crash and burn. And to expect for someone to come in and automatically fix it. That's what you do. I just need you to fix it. Oh, we need to
Oh
get to
yeah.
the heart of the matter. We got to get to the heart of the matter. This is why we are talking about today's topic, Systems Unleashed, strategies for success, right?
Yes.
There's a systematic and there's a strategic approach. But the one thing you got to do that I believe every business owner needs to know and wrap their hands around, Tyshon, is if you hadn't already, girl or guy, if you're watching us, because I love talking about getting your sass on, you had better, first and foremost, understand that you need to know and how to identify your business activities. If you hadn't identified your business activities, you're going to be all over the place. And there's just no way that you're going to be able to do the things that you need to be able to do in its most efficient way, I believe. So you got to identify those business activities. Number uno, if you haven't identified them, how are you going to streamline them? How are you going to set anything up to it? How are you going to be able to tell
Mhm.
the story, right? So when you identify them, get what's in your head out your head. Put it down on paper so that you can begin to peel that thing back. Peel that onion layer back to do what you need to do. What's your thought on that, girl?
Yes, and I want to add, letting other people help you because that's hard too, especially as a business owner. You
Mhm.
have to get out of your own ways. If your ways is what got you in the mess, and you identify that you have a problem, don't hire, especially if you're hiring a consultant, don't hire a consultant and say, I just need you to do this or I just need you to do this. Hire a consultant, tell them your problem, and then work with the consultant to solve it. But don't try to tell them their every move or what they need to do because it's a reason why you're hiring a consultant. Like you can't do it on your own. You didn't hire someone to assist you in creating a bigger mess. You hire someone to clean it up for you, and you can't do that while holding the room with them. Like let them let them do their thing. Let them put together your puzzle pieces because right now you just can't see it clearly, and it happens. It happens like you're in the midst of it and you're not going to be able to see everything. So
Mhm.
that's why you have to hire someone from the outside to look in to help you really put it together.
I love that. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to any of my other shows for years. I'm very transparent, and I share that my first VA fired me because I thought I knew what needed to be done. But I was all over the place. Oh, you're the VA. You should know how to do this and do that, and do this, do this. Oh, please. She was very good too. Loved her. She knew
Mhm.
how to catch my vision and my dream just out of thin air, snatch it right out. But every time I would give her things, was giving it to her all over the place. There was no systematic approach. There was no SOP, standard operating procedures. Didn't know nothing about that back then, right? There was nothing because I was all over the place. That's why I spoke about identifying the business activities, because when you identify them, at least when you sit with a consultant, that consultant can speak with you, talk with you to see the broken pieces, right? Do a
Mhm.
systems audit, look at all these different things to see what's missing. So that kind of brings me to Sean to the next question that I have for you, and something that I want to kind of talk about. What are some key components of an effective system when it comes to business? And we can even see if we can stretch it over into that personal development piece of our lives.
Yeah, so pretty much the stuff that we touched on, you have to know what the goal is, like know what you're trying to accomplish. So I
Mhm,
like to describe it like a GPS system.
mm,
When you before you go anywhere, before you even if you order in an Uber, you have to have that one thing, and that's the address. Like nothing is going to shake, nothing is going to move until you put in that destination. So you have to start there, and I would say start with the end in mind,
mhm,
and then put together everything else. So once you put in that address, and then it's going to outline the steps for you. Right, you're going to see all of the steps you have to take. You're going to see, look at, pay attention to the route, see what you're going to run into. If it's an accident here, it might reroute you there. So you're going to have to look at it and pay attention to all those things. And but regardless of what comes along the way, let's say you make the wrong turn because you want to stop and get a soda or something, right? You made the wrong turn. The GPS is still going to reroute you back to that same destination, right?
mhm,
So you have to
mhm,
have that there, and you have to understand that it's going to be bumps in the road and things along the way. And also keeping in mind like the stops that you're going to take and the things that you're going to need at those moments. So thinking about the whole route and not just right now, like not just what you have now, thinking about the whole route, making
mhm.
sure you have the things for your pit stop. So you're not going to be where you are forever. So as you grow, think about how it's going to be as far as putting a team together, right? Putting a team together, who are you going to need to hire, who are you going to need to hire, whether that is an assistant to help you if you already got it figured out, or if you need to bring in a consultant because you realize, okay, I just can't get past this roadblock. I need someone to help me turn this into a gold mine so we can like make it happen and move forward, right? So you want to make sure you have all of that. But as far as the basics, you're going to need like the communication tools and stuff like that. There's no business runs without communication, whether it's with clients or
Mhm.
networking. So I always recommend people have that calendar tool in place when it comes down to that, and scheduling stuff and project management. If even if it's just you, you want to think of you as all of those different hats that you wear. So break that down into different departments. We got whatever task you're doing, make sure you break that up. So when it does come down to outsourcing that
Mhm.
task, you
Mhm.
understand what components of your system that you actually need to outsource. And my favorite thing to do now is use my chat system, my AI tool, to help me with that, because anytime I'm putting together something and it spits out something different that I didn't say,
Yeah.
or that's telling me that I'm not good at delegating. Like I can't execute exactly what I need to. So what I need to do. So that helps me get my words together and really like figure out how am I going to tell a person to be able to do this specific task.
Yeah.
As soon as you get that right, start documenting that and keep that aside, even if it's for you, because you're not going to remember what you did a month ago, a month later when it comes down to doing it again. So that's those are the type of things that I always like to point out when it comes down to implementing systems.
So you kind of spoke on several things there. You touched on tools, and you touched on the systematic approach, because a lot of people get them confused, right? There
Mhm,
are physical tools or software tools that we may use, but then there are systems that we need to have in place that we may need to incorporate in those tools so that we can
mhm,
flow, right? And we can flow with that blend that we needed to flow. You know, in a nutshell, I love to use the statement, it's time to put your business on rinse and repeat, lady, right? And the
yeah.
way that you put your business on rinse and repeat is you got to take that systematic approach. There's none like someone getting or downloading my identify your business activity workbook or a cheat sheet or something like that. They get it, and then nothing else happens after that. But when you got I've already taken the time. If I was lost on my words, I went to GPT to do what I need to do, get different things in, worked on my prompting so that I can make sure I'm speaking the language and the verbiage that speaks to me, that speaks to her, right?
Mhm.
Making sure I had all those key things. But then next, graduating and taking them and implementing them in some sort of software. My favorite software choice is digital CEO systems. It's just what it is. It's who I am. It's an all-in-one software that helps me, one, with my business management. It helps me two with automating stuff, staying on top of stuff. Again, putting my business on rinse and repeat instead of constantly being all over the place. So that approach of getting clarity on your systems from here down on paper, SOPs, workflows, all those key things that I'm sure Tyshon will be back on the show with me later on, and we'll go even deeper into those later.
Yes.
But that, and then the calendar systems that you were talking about, all these things that help you stay on top of having the effective type of system so that you're not throwing mud up against the wall expecting for it to stick. So I truly appreciate you for kind of peeling back that onion layer and going in a little deeper. Let's talk about leverage. Let's go into it. Let's talk about how an entrepreneur can leverage systems to scale. See, I kind of touched on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But when we think about how we can leverage the system to scale, I know first and foremost that automation is key, right? Because if you're repeating something over and over again, let's dive into that. Let's touch a little bit on standard operating procedures. I know you've dealt with some of this stuff from your
Yeah.
experience. Let's dive into that.
Yeah, I can tell my story about how I was like really when I it saved me, and it was when I was working as an operations manager, and they let my boss go, the manager who was on my department, and I found myself doing 3 jobs at once,
Mm.
right? So I had to do something. I had SOPs in place, but it was just something
Mhm.
just to say I had it.
Mhm.
I had to really put them to a test when I wanted to remove myself from the day-to-day activities of managing my staff.
Okay.
Like as far as like, and when I say managing, I was like in the field with them doing the work. So that's the part I had to take back for myself. Like I didn't want to get my hands dirty no more, kind of, because I still got my hands dirty in the other side of my position. but but I had to really get them together so they can be able to run it but without me. And in addition to the SOPs, I had to and I do this for everyone now. Anytime I put together SOP, I have them do it without me saying anything, like do it by following the steps, even though, because sometimes they already know how to do the task, but do it without following it, but do it without thinking about it, looking at the actual steps to make sure we're not missing anything. That's very important because you want to use that document to be able to hire anyone, fifth grader, anybody. You want to be able to use that document. If anything is missing, like click here, that might mess up your whole process. So you want to make sure everything is listed there. And automation, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. If you don't have to do it, don't do it. So many business owners get caught up in saying, oh, I can do this. It's just this. I can do this and just that. All those little just will add up. So if you don't have to do it, don't do it. Trust the system, right? You can manage it. Look at it. Make sure everything goes good. And if you can do it, that's perfect, because if something mess up, you know where to dive in at. So if you don't have to do it, don't do it. I'm going to keep repeating that. Make sure you have those automations in place and take advantage of them. Anytime you are utilizing a system, that always should be the first thing. What can I delegate to this automation tool? I always delegate to the tech tools first, and then hire staff to help manage it and make sure like
Yes.
everything works good, because that person can get sick or anything can happen just like you can. But as long as you have that system running, it's going to keep running, and then it might take a few days to catch up, but you can always go back and say, hey, let me just check in to see what's going on, see what I need to clean up. But it'll be less of a mess as if it just stopped because of the person who's not actually doing it. So don't think of the I can so I will. So
Mhm.
always automate if you can. That's always my first go-to.
I love it because you're
Mhm.
speaking to that, automating those repetitive tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Again, why are we, it's that squirrel mentality. When we use that in our business, whether it's jumping over because somebody else had a new idea or whatever. I can find and I can see how easy it is to do it in your business. You're just hopping over here all day long doing stuff, and you're setting yourself up for what I consider busy work. If it can be
Uh-huh.
automated, get that thing set up, and then I can work on the other part, that thing that I work best at, instead of spending my time working, doing a lot of busy work. That was the first thing that really, really helped me, the automation piece. It really stopped the bleeding of me just wasting my time, valuable
Yeah.
time, right? It also helped me when it came down to my junior admin, to give her the work, to do the different things in an orderly fashion. She didn't have to spend the first 30 minutes of her shift or her time where she clocked in to have to get everything from me, figuring out where we were going. Because things were automated, there's a
Mm-hmm.
systematic approach. She's in digital CEO systems. She's in Asana. She's in all these things where we're communicating, right? So that communication level is there and our touch points are already there, and she knows, and I know. And as a business owner, let me just say this, it will help you and set you up where you can know exactly what's going on with the people you hire. But when you don't have things automated, you don't take that systematic approach, you don't have those standard operating procedures in place, SOPs, and different communication channels, you won't know what's going on. You'll find that you're losing money because you're
Mm-hmm.
bleeding. You're spending money on tools that you're not even using, or you will find that unfortunately, it happens. You will be able to tell when somebody's slacking. When you have systems in place, it's a game
Yeah.
changer. It's a game changer.
Yes, I thought of something funny when you started talking about like knowing exactly what the staff is doing, and it's so funny that if you have to ask what's going on, or like you're constantly looking over their shoulder, that's micromanaging, and it's annoying, right? However, if you have systems in place that constantly shows the KPIs, show how close they are to the goal, constantly shows what they did for the day, constantly shows the work that they have left over, what they didn't accomplish, it shows you how fast they're working on a certain task, and all of this information. It shows you more information than it would than you having to ask. Then that's like holding them accountable. It's no longer looking at it as micromanaging, but they have it in place, and they're going to do the work on their own without you intervening, because all you have to do is look at the dashboard and see what's going on, right? They don't want you to have to come say, hey, why has this task been yellow for a while? Like, why are you still here? Because they already see it for themselves. So it's like you hiring a mini you to get ahead of it for you. And then if you still have to ask after that, then listen, like
We got a problem.
they know you was coming, right?
Houston, we got a problem, right?
Right.
You can see those different things. I was in a meeting the other day, and that was one of the key concerns that several people had. And things were crossing over because they were on different pages instead of being on the
Mm-hmm.
same page, and it was clear that the checkup from the neck up wasn't taking place.
Mm.
It was clear that people weren't looking at the main place, the dashboard, and that they weren't on one accord, right? That
Yes.
happens. You cannot be on one accord as a one person business owner, right? A lot of people
Yes.
follow that, right? But you can be all over the place and just missing so many different things because you're not effectively um, operating daily the right way. Your day is ruling you instead of you ruling
Mm.
and ruling that day. And I think that is a big problem for solopreneurs. I saw you say, you wanna expound on that one?
Because that's so true. Like not necessarily in business. I think I had a good grip on my business, but when it came down to my personal life, I had to really realize that I was letting my day control me. Like anytime I just jumped up and go, like that's me saying, like when you jump up saying, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, because your day is controlling you. Like when I give myself at a minimum 15 minutes in the morning. Even if I just sit there and do nothing, I'm giving it to myself to just sit there and like calm, like to approach everything in a calm manner first, because I refuse to like let my day control me. I don't even use alarms anymore. Like I let my body wake up when it wants to wake up. I just know what I have to do. And it's like I kind of want to create that relationship with myself. Like if my body knows that I need to get something done, then it's gonna get up and make it happen. But it's not gonna be going crazy, because just I used to hate that growing up. I used to hate with getting up rushing to do do this and do that. But if you already know what you need to do and you approach it calmly, then it's going to get done just with less stress.
I love it. I love it because, our real deal reality, when we think about this topic that we're speaking on, how systems, strategies for success in life, we have strategies. We take a strategic approach. When we wake up and we open up our eyes, for me, okay, I pray. I get out the bed. I go use the bathroom. I wash my hands. I wash my face. That's a systematic approach, right? A step by step approach in everything that we're doing. It's empowering when you do it, and it can come off in a negative way when you don't have things set up, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to raising children. If we just
Yeah.
get up and we laying in bed all day long and we're wondering why the kids are doing the same thing, we are setting them up for failure in life down the line, right? No, get up
Yeah.
and go do this. You got to take care of these different things in life. Why we don't think that we need to do this in business blows my mind. It really, truly does.
Yeah, it's something about when we comes down to doing stuff for ourselves, like whether that's running our business or like managing our self-care.
Hmm.
And I always using this example. Sometimes we work so much that we skip lunch, right?
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
your kids are home, you never skip feeding them, right? So it's like you have to do this, and you would usually have a system in place to like prepare to feed them. Like you have the lunch ready, you have something ready. It's the same thing. That's why I work with mompreneurs, to show them that you can mommy mode your business and like really really get it together and put those same systems in place that you had to figure out as a mom.
I like what you just said because that kind of takes me into, the fact that you work with mompreneurs and you can mommy mode some things. It
Mhm.
kind of comes into another question that I was thinking about as I was sitting here because we're both mompreneurs. It's no mystery. I'm a wifepreneur, mompreneur, but yes, we work with other female CEOs because we know it, right? We
Yeah.
understand and we know what it feels like to be all over the place, to not have a system, to not have processes. So it brings me to that question: how can systems empower, because you said you can mommypreneur your business, how can systems empower individuals to achieve that work life, I'm going to say blend, not balance, because
Yeah.
you and I are about that blend, and the other what was the other word you told me earlier?
Alignment.
Alignment. Yeah.
Yes.
How can that help us, since you kind of touched on you can put your business on mommy mode, or mommy girl, just go.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue the same example. So just remember when you first brought your baby home, and y'all both had to figure out stuff, like y'all, it's a whole new world for both of y'all.
Mhm.
And that remember that moment when you finally get together that routine, like you know when to have the bottles ready, you know when to have everything ready, and you
Mhm.
start like feeling that weight lift off your shoulders, and you're able to tackle more things in your life and business or wherever else you got going on. But for the first few weeks or months, it's all about figuring out with you and your new baby, right? Figuring out what life, normalizing things, creating a new normal for both of y'all. So that's the same thing that happens in business. When you first attack it, it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time to figure it out. But once you figure it out, you get that confidence, and then you start walking around like, yes, I got this. I got this. All I have to do is check my dashboard. I know what's going on. Oh, I'm sending out connection requests automatically. I don't have to be sitting down to the computer doing this. I hired a virtual assistant. They're doing all this for me, and I know exactly what they're doing. Everything flowing. Just imagine how much you can grow from that. It's like having that confidence, like you really be unstoppable. Unstoppable. Can't nobody like tell you nothing at that moment. You be like, I got this.
Mhm.
Like that. After that moment when you push that baby out and then figure out life, it's unstoppable. Can't nobody really tell you nothing from there. So as a business owner, approach it that same way. Keep that same energy, sis. Like you can do this for real.
You said when you push that baby out and figure out life.
Yeah, life again, because it don't just stop. Like you have to do it all over again, and then it's like you sometimes you forget, then you remember. Well, I don't know. You got five, so probably the third one you probably was like, okay, I got this for real now.
Ooh, let me tell you, it's wild because again, going back to that systematic approach, on our topic today, strategies for success. Systems was a strategy for success for me. One, it truly helped me set some boundaries. It
Hmm.
really did. So I was able to set boundaries in my personal life, in my business life. I was able to optimize my time better because time management, oh, it's a real deal, right? We'll be all over the place. I can remember,
Yes.
as I mentioned, being a mother of five, a grandmother of five, and two granddogs. Two of my children were track runners because I ran track, right? And so we were
Hmm.
everywhere. My eldest son, grown, long gone now, he was 14th in the nation. So there was travel time with a lot of stuff. My second eldest daughter, she was cheering and running track. My eldest daughter was cheering. Just all kind of different things that just kept me busy. Can you imagine me not having the boundaries that I needed to have in place?
Hmm.
Or can you imagine how overwhelmed I was when I didn't have them? Let's just be real. Okay. Can you imagine me missing track meets, missing those key things because I didn't have things outlined? I was separating my task, my personal to-dos from my business. I had to quickly blend those things together so that I
Yes.
wouldn't miss things and I wouldn't hurt my children's feelings and hurt my own feelings. So that work and personal life, I had to blend it. That's why I call it work life blend. It's real. It looks like let me tell you, it looks like Tyshon. She put some not Tyshon, Tanisha. I think she's over on LinkedIn. She said, kudos to you with no alarms. Wow.
Yes.
You know,
Listen, that all goes according to like helping well with my daughter. Like I let her create her own system, and that's big. A lot of times we try to control our kids and tell them what to do and how to do it and all of that. So with my daughter, I let her create her own system. She have an alarm on her phone and she do what she want to do, but I wake up when I'm ready. Like I don't have to get her ready or anything. She gets herself ready. So I give her that responsibility, and that's another thing when it comes down to setting boundaries. It don't stop with your business. It also goes according to your kids. Like she know not to wake me up before it's time unless it's an emergency, right? So when it comes down to working, especially when you work from home, we all have those family members who don't understand the difference because they see you now, especially like if you went from working in the office to working from home, you
mm-hmm.
have to still set those boundaries and say, okay,
Oh,
when I'm here at my desk, this is work time. I'm working from this time to this time. So all of that, answering your phone, use that do not disturb feature. It's there for a reason. If you are working, don't answer personal calls. Like, and what happens is you're training the people to not call
yeah.
you at certain times. If someone keeps calling you at 10 o'clock every day and you don't answer, whose fault is it that they keep calling you?
I'm giving you the message.
Right. So it's like that's a way of, so it's not just about setting boundaries. You have to enforce them. Like, don't get mad at someone for not respecting your boundaries. It's your boundaries. Like it's your boundaries. You have to make
That's
sure you
right.
enforce them and don't blame other people for not understanding. It's not their job to understand. It's just your job to enforce the boundaries. And they, if they get it, they get it. They don't, they don't.
Well, the thing that I
Mhm.
love is that you included your child, right?
Mhm.
Include your children in us, y'all. You have
Yeah.
to. You teach them the boundaries. You teach them how to respect. You teach your best friend, your mom. You're grown running a business. If you are
Yes.
at a 9 to 5, you just can't snatch your phone up. Most of us can't take our phone out of our pocket and talk, right? Especially
Mhm.
depending on the type of job you have. There's a respect thing. So you have to teach people how to respect your business. First and foremost, you need to learn how to respect your business, as you said. So
True.
I love how Tyshon put in and how she mentioned the bringing her daughter in with it, your children in with it, teaching them those different things, strategies that way, and the boundaries help you continue to build the momentum in your growth process. in my opinion, having these things in place, setting boundaries, setting milestones, celebrating those milestones,
Yes.
including the children into those, seeking accountability partners. All of these things play a major role. But that first one that I mentioned first, right off, you including your children in it, oh, that's golden.
Mm-hmm.
That's golden because they'll know, oh, shh, mommy speaking. She's in the middle of a meeting. She's doing this. We're not knocking on that door unless somebody's cut and bleeding. And it better not be a little splinter.
That's so true. Like that shows you have to teach them what an emergency is, because to them that might be emergency until you teach them like, nah, you could have just sucked on it until I got back. Like
So with that being said, I kind of just touched it a minute ago. Let's kind of dig a little bit as we begin to start wrapping things up. You know, as a business owner, this thing is real. It's I'm gonna be real. It ain't easy. I don't know who lied to y'all. Okay. I really don't know who told you the story. It is work. I
mm-hmm.
know we have this dream, this God given dream that He gave to us that, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 and things are just going to be, I'm going to hit the floor running, money floweth. Yeah, I can't flow if you don't have the systems in place. It's
Mm-hmm.
not happening. It may start out for a minute, then you're going to find yourself backtracking
Mm-hmm.
all the time. What are some strategies that you believe one should have to maintain momentum in your business? What strategies do you use, or what advice can you give us on that, lady?
I would say don't focus on growing like up too much, like expand like as far as what you're doing and get a control of it, because I always say you don't want to be I think they call it heavy top. Like I think of it like how a certain plant grow and it's just going to keep shooting up, and then eventually it's just going to start tipping, tipping over like that. So you don't want to focus on just shooting to the top. You want to focus on start with like setting those foundations, getting those strong roots first, and then you can be able to grow and aim for the stars after that. So anytime you are implementing something in your business, you want to think about how you can multiply it first. So
Hmm.
if you are saying, let's say you do coaching calls, when you're setting up your services and you're doing coaching calls, think about, okay, do I have a cap at this? If you have a cap, then you want to find out how will you be able to multiply it, whether that comes with like hiring more people or finding a way to, like, that's where the training videos and stuff might come into place, because if you're repeating yourself on every coaching call, you might be able to just turn that into a course, and and that's you multiply it. Like anybody can watch the course at the same time. So, but it's like taking back that one-on-one attention, and you'll be able to structure it better that way. So you always want to think about uh pretty much how you can grow and how you can eliminate the manual work for yourself.
Hmm.
And I always look at it as like with my framework, I start with the vision, and it's system. It's SISTEM, and I start by securing that vision. So think about where you want to be. Like, where do you want your business to grow? And if you have any limitations, that means that you have to change up your system, right? And that's when you start looking at the goals. You identify your goals of what needs to happen to make this vision become a reality, right? And then you want to streamline your process. So if it's something that's in a way, like if you have any bottlenecks, clear those up. We have
Hmm.
to clear those up so that traffic can flow smooth, right? And evaluate your results. I think miss one. I said SIS and track your progress. So this is important, because we a lot of times pay attention to the destination, focus on just getting there, but track it as you're doing it. Don't wait until it's time for it to happen where you need it to happen, and then look back and say, okay, how did I do? Take a look at it and say, how am I doing? And same thing you just mentioned a few minutes ago, celebrate those wins every week, every day if you can, but celebrate it as you're doing it. Every step is a good step, whether it's a lesson learned or you
Hmm.
actually accomplished something. So celebrate that. And then you want to evaluate the results and see what's working, keep doing it. What's not working, cut it out. Just as simple as that. And then once you have all of that maintained, once you have all of that figured out, you want to maintain your systemized sanity, as I call it. Like, continue doing what's working, but now it's time to like really put those automations and everything in place to like keep it going. You ever heard someone say, if somebody just not their self, they automatically say, oh, you must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're assuming you did something wrong. So you want to get in that habit of doing these things. It's where if you don't do it, then something is going to feel off, even if it's not like that, whether that's your life, your business. You want to get in the habit of maintaining that for yourself.
I love that you hit on so many key different things, because when I think about how systems support me, they support me in that one way that you mentioned, tracking your progress, right?
Mhm.
They support me with having those actionable steps, or how I can move and take the actionable steps, not only in my business but in my personal life. I love it. And it helps me where I can really reflect on some things. I can look at some things and go, oh, that didn't do this. Oh, I know why this happened this way.
Yeah.
This is just life. Systems support not just your business, ladies, it supports your personal life. And when I found that, me just putting it all together, I mean, I even had to start putting like a date night on my calendar for me and my husband.
Mhm.
I had to put that in there because I can get down and get busy and just forget, right? And because we're so, in our zone, that we can miss some things. So I was just sitting here smiling when you mentioned that tracking the progress piece. So important. If you can't track it, I truly don't believe you have much that you're really, really doing effectively, right? That's right.
Right.
Hey, Miranda, yes, systems support. They do support us. Thanks so much here. I'm enjoying the conversation going on down in the comment section, because, it's just speaking. Tanisha said, I love the mommy mode, your business approach. Yeah, mompreneur girl, you better mommy mode it.
Yes, because that's the one thing. Like, even if we don't give ourselves credit, we good moms. Like, and that's what you think. You overthink it because you care that much about it. But we're good moms, and we want to continue being good moms. So we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we that happens. So you can do that same approach, and your business might appreciate it more than your kids, to be honest. So.
What they appreciate the money part, right? But your
Yes.
business and the flow and not being overwhelmed, right?
Yes.
I get it all day long. And when I speak to women, I work with those established overwhelm, not just mom, but female CEOs, to get them from the overwhelm to
Mhm.
simplifying, automating, systematizing, and streamlining their business. I know what it feels like to be all over the place. I
Yes.
remember, and I can catch myself right now to this day, and will look back at myself, not call myself a dummy because I never put negative words on myself, but I can go, I wasn't smart enough. That
Yes.
was
Now, why did you do that?
Why did I do that? I mean, that was going to fail before you even started. One, because I didn't stay on task. And, I understand that sometimes we're going to go off task. But when you go
Mhm.
off task, because it's written down, write the vision and make it plain so them that see it can run with it, is a biblical term, but it's real.
Yes.
How can
Yes.
you expect for anyone else to respect your business, understand your business, your VAs, your junior admins to know what it is you're doing if you don't know first?
So
You
true.
got to have the checkup from the neck up, and taking a systematic approach, having those things in place will allow you to, one, be able to see clearly. Number two, now you can be productive and you can work this thing out. You can put your business on rinse and repeat, like I said earlier, right?
Yes. And I do want to go back to like when you was like talking about adding date night to your calendar. That's one of my, I want to say, like my most favorite tools in life when it comes down to the calendar, because what I do is and I just had to do this when it comes down to my social life in general. I had to create a separate calendar. But you're vegan also, so you understand like how we like colorful food, right? If we're not just gonna sit down and eat no boring salad, we want to see all the colors, all the
The
things,
rainbow.
everything. Yes. So that's how I have to look at my calendar. So I create a separate calendar. It's kind of like block scheduling, but I create a separate calendar for a different part of my life. Like I have one for mind, body, and soul, like my workouts and stuff. I have one just for my daughter. I just recently added one for adult social time, like to like get out and communicate more with other adults. So when I look at my calendar, I want to see a variety of all of that. So make sure everything gets mixed in. I do have one for CEO tasks, but when I put CEO tasks and that's filling up my schedule, then I know that I'm ignoring too many other parts of my life. So that's kind of like my own personal accountability system where I do that to keep everything organized for myself and make sure I'm paying attention to I like to call it the 360 for myself, like full circle. Make sure I'm
Gotcha.
paying attention to everything and not just one area of, because paying attention to one area more doesn't make it grow faster
Yeah.
or anything. Like you're just, that's all you're doing is giving it more energy, and it's it doesn't change anything
And
but
forgetting all that
yourself.
other stuff.
Yeah.
The other things that are important, and this kind of leads us to my last point or last question that I want to kind of speak about. And I always smile because I love when I have conversations with people, even though it
Mhm.
may come in a question format. But everything that we deal with deals with relationships, whether it's personal, whether it's business. And you've touched and we've touched on so many different things here. And I want to talk about what is the relationship between systems and productivity, and how can, let's see, boosting that piece, how can individuals boost their productivity through effective systems? Let's touch on that, relationships between systems and productivity.
Yeah, and you it helps you manage your energy better. Like you really can see what's happening. Some things are intangible where you can't like touch it and actually understand what's happening. But when you do have that system in place and you can look back to see how successful it was, it definitely helps you really see how much time you're saving by not doing other things. And what I was talking about from the beginning of our conversation, where we go through things like we overthink it and we just be doing the most, and then we actually sit down and say, okay, I need to figure this out. I think we go through that for that reason, because now you're able to see it's so many things I can look back on and be like, dang, I spent so much time trying to manage my emails. And now once I have a system in place, like I have certain things automatically go into a folder, and then I'm looking at it and I'm just like taking 5 minutes to check my email, and it's like, girl, you used to sit here for 2 hours for what? for, for what? Like it's like you can really like have those have that relationship. So like, and then it starts coming natural more. The more you practice it, it starts coming natural. So then your brain already know how you're going to operate and be like, okay, she don't like that. So it's just like training your kids to respond to certain things. When some people who say they only respond when I like yell, that's because that's the relationship y'all have. They know to do this when you start yelling. However, if you have the conversation and they know that you're not playing without you even yelling, then that's going to be the same reaction you get. So it's the same way with systems. You're really training your brain to keep calm in certain situations, and then it helps to eliminate that overthinking. Yes, it might come when you approach with a brand new project, but then eventually you're going to sit down and say, okay, even though this is new to me, I've been
Mhm.
down this road before and I know how to do it, solve this just like I solve any other problem. And then once you remind yourself that you're that girl, because you are, then it's going to start flowing naturally. Then it's just going to show up and show out for you.
I love it. I love it. So, in a nutshell, because the relationship between the two, between systems and productivity, what you just really broke down is the real deal reality. Systems are truly an integral part to productivity. It's integral to productivity.
Hmm.
You can't be productive if you don't have them.
True.
You just can't. They help you do some of the things you just mentioned. Prioritize your task, right? Helps you eliminate the distractions that we go through, the things that pop up, right, all the time.
The things you can't
And,
control.
it helps us to establish a routine.
Uh-huh.
Who doesn't need routine? We need it. Now we're gonna kind of go off a little bit. You should, right? Don't be so hardcore and everything, but for the most, have some systems in place. But understand life when life is lifing.
Yes.
If I go into Ebonics, life be lifing. It's just part of it. But having those systems, it also allows and helps you to leverage technology to its fullest, to its true optimal piece. And for
Yes.
me, that has been a game changer in my life, personal life, and in my business. Having those systems, it's just truly been key, vitally important. It has really, really helped me to have the success that I'm having. And it also has helped me to be able to see where things are broken that I need
Mhm.
to fix. And now that I can see if, since they're broke, I may have let them stay broke for a minute because I just didn't like it. But because I have it, now I can pull it and give it to somebody else. You know that keep it, scrap it, pause it, or what's the other one? Delegate it type mode.
Yes. Mhm.
It's real. It really does. Very helpful. Thanks so much.
Okay, good. Thank you. This is so good. I can't believe it's like almost been an hour already. Like
Yes. Because we're
it's
holding
so
a
good.
conversation. It's all about
Yes.
conversation, and our topic today, if you're just now joining, was on Systems Unleashed, strategies for success, with myself, Danette Moss, the strategy lady, and the awesome Tyshon Phillips here, who's joining me. And I really truly hope that this systems empowerment coach will join me on several other segments, because I really believe we can peel back the onion layer and really help you all. We wanted you all to kind of get inside of our world to understand how
Mhm.
we look at systems, right? Yes,
Yes.
they can be a tool. And yes, it can be a systematic approach of how you deal with business, from workflows to SOPs to all of these things. But the whole goal today was to show you the real life piece of it. The lifing piece, right? The mommy piece, the all of those other good things that we really truly need to know how we can minimize some of the headaches, how we can maximize in other areas as it pertains, as it speaks to this thing called business, right?
Mhm.
As business owners, we really truly believe that you can do it if you put your mind to it. But let me tell you, it's going to be more than just mind, because mindset does play a role. Girl, it's going to take some systems and some strategies and some processes, all of the above, right?
All of that.
All of that. So, Sean, before we wrap up, I'd love for you to tell us what's next for you. What's going on? Any programs, any events? How can they find you and keep up with you?
Yeah, so you definitely can follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm most active, at Tyshon Phillips. My business is Golden Admin. You can find me at goldenadmin.tech. And I do want to remind you that if you really want your business to grow, you must make sure your processes can flow, and I definitely can help with that. So I am offering a business system management package at the time, and I'm taking doing free consultations for that. So if you are interested in that, then you definitely can check me out, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll send you the information for that. But yes, that's I'm very passionate about talking to entrepreneurs, to helping them streamline their life in general, and we do that through the business systems implementation. So yes, if that's something that you feel like you can vibe with, then yes, please connect with me.
Awesome. And you all, you see her website is here, goldenadmin.tech. Make sure you please connect with her. She can help you get the checkup from the neck up. I am Danette Moss, aka the strategy lady. Some of you all know me as business systems and implementation strategist, but out on Instagram, most people find me over by going and checking me out as a strategy lady. Also
Mhm.
on Clubhouse. Listen, you can find me in so many different platforms, but if you put in Let's Talk Strategies, or if you put in the Strategy Lady, you will find me. I'm always excited to show up here on a weekly basis here, especially on Tuesdays at 12 noon. My whole goal is, if I'm not bringing it to you by myself, I promise I'm going to bring someone here to be able to not only help you build and grow your business, but that personal life thing is very important to me. So I always bring people that we can blend and really tell you, or share a systematic approach in your business. And if you're wondering what's next for me, it is no secret. On the 20th of June, I am so excited, y'all. The 12-week cohort program starts. It is the six-figure female CEO plan. Well, we're going to touch point on a lot of different things. First things first is we are going to get busy with the mindset piece. And I know a lot of you all may not want to hear that, but if your mind ain't right, you can't flow in business. When
Mhm.
that mind is right, You get creative, we can get clear on some different things, and we can leverage and we can rock and roll. So I would love for you all to join me. You can get to the six-figure female CEO by visiting my site, letstalkstrategies.com. And on there, there's going to be tons of information that will help you take your life and your business to the next level. Until next time, make sure that you join me here on the 360 TV station here, along with the Limelight Network and Let's Talk Strategies TV, always here to help you boost your business, help you get your SaaS on by putting that business on rinse and repeat. Take care. Yeah, get your SaaS on. Y'all take care.